Alright guys, I haven't made a proper video in a little while, mostly because I've had nothing important to say. But I got something pretty important to say. Yesterday I made a video showing off these polar parrot eggs. The light is actually off right now, because this is the only way that they won't be aggressive to each other, as I was experimenting earlier. So basically my two polar parrots are breeding, and if you know anything about cichlid breeding, they're very territorial over their eggs. And we got a bunch of tank mates in this thing that we have to somehow remove. The most tricky is by far going to be the South American bumblebee catfish, because he actually lives underneath this cave that the eggs are on. Now, if you don't know much about polar parrots, you'd just say, oh, you know, why don't you just lift up the cave and scoop the catfish out? But the reason you can't do that is because if you interfere with the eggs too much, the cichlids will actually get stressed and eat their own eggs. It's kind of like egg cannibalism. So that's why, you know, you got to be really careful. And, you know, now that you understand why I have to remove the tank mates, I'll explain to you the challenge. These loaches right here are some of the fastest fish I've ever even seen in my life. Other than like, you know, pelagic fish, these things are just so fast. They dart around really quickly, and they're impossible to catch in the net. I tried, you know, for a little while. I removed the decorations. It was near impossible. You know, I was doing 2 nets. I was using every trick in the book, and I still couldn't scoop these guys up. So I'm going to have to be smarter than them instead of faster than them. Luckily, I have an idea. And now these two have the whole tank to themselves. If I can even get 1 or 2 babies out of this, I'll be extremely happy. Alright, that was a lot of work. Most of it off camera, obviously, you know, to save you guys some time. But let's review what I did. Was able to remove these loaches with the net. Didn't have to use my original idea, or my second idea of trapping them. I just turned off the light and got really stealthy and was able to net these guys up. They're in the 10-gallon tank right now. They're looking amazing, not too stressed. This one has a little bit faded color, but they're looking good thanks to this nice flowing water and the company of each other. The stress has gone away pretty quick. I put about 2-gallon bucket of water from my 37-gallon tank, and then about 2 gallons from my 20, and then about 2 gallons of tap with conditioner, obviously, so there's no chlorine. So, you know, this tank should be pretty safe for these guys. I'm pretty sure I said this earlier in the video, but I'm most likely going to run out and get a sponge filter for this tank. At PetSmart, they have them really cheap. Just for the sake of time, so I don't have to do a water change every single day, because this tank currently has no filter. So everything's looking pretty good. And I'll flash forward to the parents now. Alright, well, with less company in the tank, they can explore a little bit more and not be so stressed out chasing predators away. Now look at the photo on the screen. Now look at the current eggs. A lot have been lost, but I was very careful to make sure it wasn't the parents eating them. It was actually the loaches. I didn't catch it on video, but the loaches were eating the eggs. Now the only fish I need to remove is the South American bumblebee catfish. Alright, so while this tank might not have correct filtration, I do have a heater in there, because October where I live gets pretty cold. As you can see, it's currently running. I'll be monitoring the temperature though, because I don't know how good or how bad this heater is. I've just had it sitting for years. Not even sure how I got it. And I have a UV sterilizer, but the UV light bulb has actually been disconnected by me intentionally. And I'm just using it as sort of a power head temporarily to keep water flowing so that this water doesn't become stagnant. Alright, well, I'm still working on trapping the South American bumblebee catfish. I put a hide in there with some of his favorite food inside, so my hopes is that he leaves this cave to go into that cave, and then when he's in that cave, I'll just scoop the whole thing up with a net like I've done a few times before when I needed to move him. Alright, if you enjoyed this video, keep checking my channel, because I'll definitely be making some more similar videos in the next couple of days. If I'm lucky enough for these eggs to become wigglers, I will definitely film that, and of course I'll film if they eventually do become fry. If these things become fry, that would really be amazing, and I'd be very happy, but it's still a long road.